Prevent clogged fuel filters, increase your fuel economy, and save money with Atomic Diesel. Contact Roger at Stern today by calling 1-800-477-2744 to see how Atomic Diesel and the rest of their line of fuels and lubricants can keep your operation running at max capacity.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Welcome into the LIBA Business Hour, sponsored by Nats to Tasseling, highlighting local independent businesses in and around Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, Bud Seinhorst.
Welcome to the LIBA Business Hour. Thank you to our show sponsor, Nats Detasseling. Earn cash, build character, Nats Detasseling. Learn more about Nats at notafraidtosweat.com. Our first segment today is sponsored by U-Stop. Earn points that spend like cash with the kickback card, which you can get snacks and even gas. Available at all 24 U-Stop locations. You want to join the conversation today? You can call or text 402-464-5685. Listen on the 93.7 The Ticket app, theticketfm.com, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Allo, channel 961. We have now hit statewide status, I think, right, Ben? Now that we've got Allo channel 961. Yeah. Everybody in the state can hear the LIBA Business Hour. So we're going to kick off our first segment today. We've got Britt Fordham here. Britt is with State Distributing here in Lincoln. Welcome to the show, Britt.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate the invite.
So this is going to be a fun way to start a Saturday morning on the LIBA Business Hour. I'll classify it, and it's probably underclassifying, but basically State Distributing is distributing beer.
Yep, we're a beer wholesaler.
Beer wholesaler. So excellent. He did not bring a truck, just so you know. There's not a truck sitting down here. So give us a little bit of history. Start off, just give us a little bit of history of State Distributing.
Well, State Distributing was started by my grandfather. He was retired Air Force pilot. He's a test pilot. And in the late 80s, he retired and moved was out at Offutt, and then retired here and purchased a beer distributor. It was an old Schlitz distributor and Stroh's and a couple other beers, if you remember.
Wow, you're hitting my generation.
That's
now,
right.
Britt.
That's right. So back then it was just a couple of different brands that they had, and then over the years they acquired a couple other brands, and whether it was Old Milwaukee and Old Style and
okay. So we've talked about Schlitz, we've talked about Old Milwaukee, Old Style. I probably tried to keep your grandfather in business when I was in college.
Yeah, that's they hit all the good ones from the old days. And then when Molson Coors went nationwide, when Coors went nationwide in the late 80s, we got the Coors rights to sell. So then my dad came on the scene and been running the company since then, and now I'm getting involved.
So you said your grandfather bought it when?
In the early 80s.
In the early 80s. So you guys are 40 years.
Yep, we're over 40 years.
Over 40 years. That's awesome. And it's kind of cool to see you as a third generation getting involved in the family business. It seems to be a theme lately. I don't know how, but we just keep adding people with those multi-generational businesses, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 years, that kind of thing. Cool. So let's start. And next, let's talk about what brands. I mean, you obviously talked about the Coors brand, which you still have, but cheers to the banquet beer, one of my favorite beers in the world.
The old classic stubby bottle.
Man, there is nothing better than a Coors Banquet beer. I'm just telling you right now.
I agree with you.
When I went to the Coors distributor, they're like, "What can I get you?" And I'm like, "That's what I want." And he's like, "Really? Not too many people pick that one." I'm like, "That's okay. You
Yep.
could have two. I had two of those."
That's perfect.
So, what other brands do you carry?
So we sell beer from over 20 different suppliers. We've got anything from the full Molson Coors family of brands. So that includes obviously the Coors Light brands, but they also produce Keystone, Blue Moon, Simply Spiked Lemonade, Topo Chico.
Ooh, Blue Moon.
There you go. Hams, if you remember that one. So Hams is
From the land of sky blue water, baby.
That's right, Sasha the Bear.
Ben's looking at me like, "Oh my God, this guy knows his old guy beers."
And Hams is actually doing really well now. So it's been on the comeback for a couple of years. So
I got to tell you a funny ham story. See, things get derailed here pretty quick on the LIBA Business
I love
Hour.
it.
But so last week I was at the grocery store, and I do all the grocery shopping in our family. And so I'm at the grocery store, and I'm at Super Saver down on South 27, the Pine Lake Road. And I look up, and a guy's walking through the beer section, and he's carrying a 6-pack of Hams Tall Boys. And I'm like, holy crap, I didn't know they still had Hams in the
$3.99.
$3.99 for a 6-pack of Tall Boys. All you college students, there you go.
Yeah.
So, okay, anyway, keep going with your brands.
Yeah. So the Molson Coors family, they also, Simply Spiked Lemonade, Topo Chico. They've got a new brand coming out called Happy Thursday. They'll be coming out in the next couple weeks here. And then we do New Belgium. So if you're familiar with Fat Tire, Voodoo Ranger brand family.
I knew Fat Tire, I'm sure, before people in Lincoln even knew what it was.
That's right. It's one of the original craft beers.
Yeah, I tried to drink them dry of it in Estes Park one time when I was at a convention.
How'd that work?
I was unsuccessful, but I gave it a hell of an effort.
A for effort, man. Boulevard out of Kansas City. So it's a kind of a regional product. Everybody in Nebraska is familiar with Boulevard, but it's just interesting as you get further away, people are like, "What's Boulevard?"
Another great beer.
And so they've done really well with their Boulevard beers, and they also have their Boulevard Quirk, which is their seltzer that does very well. We do Guinness, all the Guinness brands, Dos Equis, Tecate, Stiegel. Have you ever heard of Stiegel before? Stiegel Radler.
I have not.
It's a grapefruit. It's a grapefruit beer. It's very tasty. It's a lower ABV, so there's not as much alcohol in there. So it's it's a great summertime golf course drink.
So would that kind of like, okay, this is going to be a weird comparison, but kind of like along that Fresca type taste? I don't know if you ever had Fresca.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. It's just a mild grapefruit.
Okay.
But just got a little kick in there.
Outstanding.
So we also have some locals that we supply for. So we do Brickway out of Omaha. We do Backswing here in Lincoln, and we also our buddy Jim Ballard. We do his ciders with James Arthur Vineyard.
That's right. Jim got into the cider industry, didn't he?
He sure did.
So I think back to when I was in college and those kind of things, and it was just kind of your basic beer brands, right?
Yep.
So many of which we've touched on. I probably should have become a stockholder in college. Now, I probably could have owned a state distributor.
That's
the
right.
way I did it in college. But talk about kind of the evolution of the industry and those kind of things, because it's not just beer anymore. Although you guys have all those different brands, which are awesome brands. I mean, there's not a bad one in there. But
Sure.
Talk about some of the other things that have evolved over the years in the industry for you.
Sure. Well, what's really interesting is if you turn the clock back a little bit, there used to be a bunch of beer distributors. So the Guinness guy was a distributor, the Coors guy was a distributor, the Schlitz guy was a distributor, the Bud guy, the Miller guy, there was dozens of them just in Lincoln.
Yeah.
And some consolidation happened. So
all across the state, really.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there were tons of them all over the state.
Yep. Just thinking about, from my experience today, if there was just one guy out there peddling Guinness, that's just crazy to me to imagine that it would be wrapped up into another house. But the way that the market's changed has just been incredible. Whether it was the boom of the light beer, you think back to when Bud Light came out, and then that took the world by storm, and then everybody jumped on with some Miller Lite, and Coors Light came.
The silver bullet,
baby.
See, I know your brands.
That's right. So, then everything, the craft boom, the craft beers, the local craft beers, it's all been crazy how that has that impacted, how that has impacted the market. And then, regional and national craft stuff like New Belgium and Boulevard.
Mhm.
And then as of late, right, as you get into more recent history, you've got the big seltzer boom. So, the White Claws and Trulies came out and kind of flipped the industry on its head a little
So
bit.
I have not been as, what shall I say? I have not been as strong of a supporter of the seltzer boom as I have all the other booms
Sure.
with the craft beers and all that kind of stuff. So talk a little bit about the seltzers, because that's been kind of just the last, 3, 4, 5 years. Is that kind of where the boom of the
Yeah.
seltzers really?
Yep. I'd say probably 5 years or so. A lot of those seltzers came out long time ago, and they were in 12-ounce bottles. And that's the first time they made an appearance to the market. So they've been around for a while.
Really?
It wasn't until they rebranded and put them in those 12-ounce slim cans is when it really caught fire, and it caught some of the younger legal drinking age consumers' attention, being in that slim can, and got some social media presence.
So the shift, just kind of the product didn't necessarily change. It's
Nope.
just the presentation, right?
Yep, correct.
Wow.
Which is really crazy when you think
It's
it from the
crazy.
marketing aspect.
Yeah.
How that is, and it could be a coincidence.
See,
too,
when
right?
I was young, we loved the bottle.
Mhm.
Like, it didn't matter if it was a long neck, if it was the stubby banquet beer bottles. Like, we were all about the bottles. And
Sure.
so if they'd have had those back then, they might have taken off that way.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and bottle consumption is down significantly, and canned consumption is through the roof. So, when
is that across all brands?
all brands, yeah.
Really? Why
I
do you
mean,
think that is?
You get some love from like Coors Banquet because that iconic stubby bottle, but for the most part,
It didn't hurt that they drank that on Yellowstone either. I'm pretty
no,
sure. Yeah,
they had some
that did not hurt the
they really
the
had some-
branding at all.
Yeah, they had some wonderful marketing plays that they did. But they had some product placement in Yellowstone, and actually the first season of Yellowstone is Budweiser.
Really?
Yep, and then
Wow.
they flipped it to,
And then they
to
decided
Banquet.
to throw the banquet beer in
They
there.
sure did.
Love it.
And then they had some play with Cobra Kai. I don't know if you watched that
Mhm.
Netflix series, but they had some good product placement in there and promo there. And did you ever watch Winning Time, the series about the Lakers?
No, I didn't.
But they were
In there too. Wow.
So pretty cool.
Well, there's some cool product placement ideas and ways to market. So, what do you think has been the shift from the bottle to the can? What
I think it's
do you attribute that to?
I think it's versatility. I think you can take a can anywhere, right? Because you can't have bottles at the pool. You're not supposed to have bottles at the lake, all that good stuff. Whether you're on the mountain or you're at the lake or you're camping or whatever. I think it's just easier to transport cans. And then I do think there's also from a sustainability level, cans are just more eco-friendly.
Easier to recycle the
Easier to
cans versus all the
yeah.
bottles.
Yeah,
and all that
easier to
kind of stuff.
transport. They're lighter, and they cost less. And
Yeah.
it's all just
That's
better.
funny that you talk about bottles and transport and venues going away from bottles to cans. So I was listening to the New Heights podcast with Travis and Jason Kelsey yesterday.
Yeah, sure.
I was driving to Omaha, and I probably shouldn't have been listening to that because I laughed the whole time. But they were talking about a Cleveland Browns game in like 2012 where they were playing like Jacksonville, and there's apparently a bad call, and all the fans started throwing their beer bottles onto the field, and there went away bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland.
Yeah, I suppose you can tack on that a can would hurt worse.
Yeah, well,
Or
I mean,
hurt less. Sorry.
well, unless it's full and it becomes a huge projectile or
Yeah.
something. So anyway, kind of funny. So you've talked about kind of the evolution of seltzer and all those other kind of things. What do you see kind of coming forward? Like what do you see like crystal ball 5-10 years down the road? What do you see as
Sure. Well, that's the $1 million question, of course, but there's a lot of the amount of new products that come out every year now is just gone exponentially. It's just through the roof. Whereas we used to launch, a couple new products and, usually Q1 of the new year to kind of set the bar for the rest of the year. now it's dozens. We have
Really?
dozens of new products from all of our.
So are there
suppliers.
any new products out this year, 2024, real early on?
Yeah, there's some that are out now. We've just launched Boulevard's new line of their flavored malt beverages. So think along the lines of like a Jack Daniel's Country Cocktails or a Mike's Hard Lemonade or something like that.
Really?
But it's called a flavored malt beverage is what it's classified.
So what kind
as.
of things do they have there, and what's the
So
name of it?
They're called Cork Tails.
Cork Tails?
Yep, Quirk, Quirk.
Quirk Tails.
Yep.
Very good.
And so it's a line extension of their hard seltzer. So their regular hard seltzer line Quirk is it's a lower calorie actual seltzer, and then these Quirk Tails are full flavor 12-ounce bottles actually. So funny that we're just talking
Going back
about
to
cans,
bottles.
right? They're
Just
going back
cans,
to
bottles to cans
Yeah.
to bottles.
So we'll be launching that actually on Monday. So
Really?
just showed up yesterday.
Excellent. So you'll be stocking shelves on Monday and
That's right.
getting that out there. That's pretty amazing. So I got to share a funny Coors story with you.
Let's hear
So
it.
when I was in college, or I wasn't in college, I worked at the University of Nebraska in the athletic development office. And we got hooked up with some of the Coors guys in Nebraska. And they would sponsor our tailgates that we did before Husker football games, because we did tailgates at all the away games for donors and fans and stuff like that.
Did you work with John on this?
John was involved a little bit, and I'm
Okay.
going to go to the Wayback Machine. Larry Hanneborg out in North Platte
sure.
was involved in this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Larry.
I know Tad.
Yeah, but they used to like we might grab it here and take it with us, or we might pick it up or
Mhm.
something at a like when we went to Oklahoma, they're like, hey, go to this distributor. Here's what you need to give them, and it's kind of weird. You show up and like, hey, I'm here to pick up 50 cases of beer.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
And no. and the problem was then after the games, if we didn't go through all the beer, it came back with us. Because you don't just go it's not like a library book. You go check it out.
Yeah.
Then here's what we didn't use.
Yeah, your
right?
unused product you
So-
return.
So we had one year we had 6 or 7 away games. It was just crazy. And if the weather sucks, people aren't showing up at a tailgate, right?
Sure.
And all that kind of stuff. So we go down to Oklahoma. And the guy, and it was 30 or 35 cases of Bullets and 15 or 20 of the banquet beer. And that's all the beer we had. 50 cases of beer for every tailgate. So we go, and a friend of mine was going down with us to Oklahoma, and I had a pickup truck and he had an enclosed vehicle. We picked it up on Friday. And so we put most of it in the back of his Expedition or whatever it was. And the guy's like, hey, do you guys need a receipt for that? I'm like, nah, we're good. My buddy's like, no, I think we better get a receipt for that. Anyway, so we bring it all back. But throughout the season, we had all this extra beer. And I was like, okay, I'm giving away beer to staff and friends and all this kind of stuff. But we would get back to town and I would go to our house, my roommates and I would just put it in the garage. And there was a point where we couldn't park a car in the garage because we had so much beer sitting along the wall. So I was very popular because I always showed up with beer.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun. I got stopped one time coming back from Kansas, and the officer comes up. It's late at night. You know how the speed limit changes right as you cross the border?
Mhm.
So I think it's 70 or something. We came across the border, got stopped. I'm like, I've got a bunch of stuff. Here's why, whatever. So, well, Britt, I appreciate you coming on the show. How can people, where can they get your product and all that? Just any of your local stores,
sure.
you see any of those brands?
Yep, absolutely.
Check it out.
Yep, any local retailer that that you can go buy your favorite alcohol beverages at, stop by and support State Distributing Company.
Excellent. We appreciate it, Britt. Support State Distributing, all their brands across all spectrums. We'll be back after this on the LIBA Business Hour.
Happy
New
Year's!
UStop is starting 2024 off on the right foot, and you can too.
For every gallon sold on Tuesdays in January, UStop will donate 2 cents of every gallon sold to the Lead Center for the Performing Arts.
The Lead Center has provided Lincoln with the best entertainment and educational opportunities for the youth in our community.
I just got done with my first singing class. You stop at You Stop.
Giving back is
You
as
stop
easy as
at
filling up
You
on
Stop.
Tuesdays.
You Stop at You Stop.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Are you searching for a helping hand in life? Look no further. Integrated Behavioral Health Services is your answer. They're your compassionate, trusted partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with Integrated Behavioral Health Services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness. And now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company. And with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Picture a hot summer day, sun blazing in the fields as far as the eye can see. Now imagine, you're a teenager making bank, all while enjoying the great outdoors. Welcome to Nats Detasseling Inc., where they're not afraid to sweat. This summer, join the Nats team for an unforgettable experience. Forge friendships, learn responsibility, and earn money. Visit notafraidtosweat.com now. Nats Detasseling, where hard work meets good times.
The Serve Nebraska Volunteer Service Commission was created to ensure that community service would always be a priority in our state. I'm Governor Jim Pillen, and this year I'm inviting you to help celebrate Serve Nebraska's 30th year by becoming a volunteer. Our state's best resource is its people. You have the potential to make a significant impact. Thank you.
Sponsored by Serve Nebraska, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round. And their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Back to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This segment sponsored by Integrated Behavioral Health Services.
Welcome back to the LIBA Business Hour. This segment is sponsored by Integrated Behavioral Health Services, building a stronger, healthier community through advocacy, inclusion, perseverance, unity, and compassion. Learn more at ibhealthservices.com. Our second segment today, I got my good longtime friend here, Bruce Bailey, and Bruce does many things in our community. But the thing we're here to talk about today is the LIBA Foundation. So, Bruce, welcome to the LIBA Business Hour.
Thanks for having us.
It's awesome to have you because, I'm a huge proponent of all the work you do at the foundation and things. So give us a little bit of the history of the LIBA Foundation and how it got started and kind of what the foundation is all about.
The way it started, it was in 1983. So it's been a long time.
Wow. So it's been going pretty much not long after the organization started.
Three of us made a determination that we wanted to have a youth component. So myself and two others did the evening program of junior achievement. where you actually created a product. It was an after-school program, created a product, sold the product, and determined and tried to teach exactly what a stock is worth and how it a company's run. And that's how it all started. We needed a few dollars for that. So 3 of us put in $15,000. That's how it all started, obviously 40 years ago. And about 87, we decided maybe we could give a scholarship or two from the monies that we had raised. And back then, $300 was a huge scholarship, we thought. So we gave, I think, 5 $300 scholarships, and we're pretty proud of what we did. But that's how it all started. And then obviously, you've been around long enough to see it go to 500, and now it's $1,000 scholarship. We give 10 of them out from the foundation, and then there are other LIBA companies that have been helpful that have added additional ones. So we've given anywhere from 12 to 15 scholarships each year. So it's been a really nice situation. And we're basically trying to promote a minimal scholarship to kids that are going to stay here in Nebraska, because obviously that's one of LIBA's goals, is to get kids to work and to stay at home.
Yeah, I think one of the things I love is these scholarships are for students who graduate from a high school in Lincoln or Lancaster County, anywhere in Lancaster County, and they are going on to a 2 or 4 year school in Nebraska.
Yeah,
those are kind of the two requirements. Like, it's not you have to have X GPA or any of that. Those are kind of the two main components of it, right?
The idea was not only a 4-year program, but a 2 as well. So it gave kids a little better opportunity if they wanted to go on to Southeast Community College, whatever it might happen.
Absolutely.
So it was a win-win.
That's awesome. And so talk a little bit personally over the last 4 years, as I've been involved with the foundation more and the scholarships. My favorite part of the scholarship process is reading the essays. Talk about the essays that we have, that you have the students.
One of the requirements is that you write an essay. It's fairly short, but an essay explaining what the free enterprise system is all about. And you'll get every answer from opening up Webster's and putting down the definition of free enterprise to someone that actually has worked with their mom, their dad, their uncle, their aunt in their business, and have seen it grow and have seen what you can do if you put the efforts into it. And so those essays tell a great story about that individual trying to get that scholarship.
That's the part, that's probably the part of the application that I just I dial in right there, because I think you're right. The cool stories of how they've helped a parent or a family member, or there've been a couple of kids that have started their own business in high school, and they've been able to create a business. They talk about what it means. They talk about what they're going to do, all of those kind of things. And those, to me, I think sometimes as we get older, we think, that next generation, life's going to go to hell under them. Right. But for me, it's inspiring to see what that next generation is about, what the way that they're thinking. And it's awesome to do.
It's probably the best attended meeting that we have, that when those applications come in, where you go through them and read them and actually rate them based on how we think could use the funds and their understanding of the free enterprise system. And then obviously the importance also that they'll stay at home and they'll continue working around us.
Yeah. And that's there's when I was 18, I had about 3 different things that I wanted to do. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know where I was going to go and all those kind of things. There are a lot of these kids that are like, I'm going to go do this, and then I'm going to go do this, and then I'm going to go to the University of Nebraska, and then I'm going to go to the medical school, and I'm going to be an oncologist. It's like, okay, you're 17, right? I mean, it's pretty inspiring to
me. It tells a lot about the parents too.
Yeah.
Obviously the direction they're going, and it's really reassuring, as you suggest, that these kids are taking over the next generation.
Well, and then, so the other cool thing, you let me do the fun stuff, Bruce. I probably owe you a drink or something, but you always let me be the one to call the students and tell them that they were getting a scholarship. and it's really cool. I mean, I've had mothers cry on the phone. They were so excited and so proud of their kids and all of those kind of things. And it's really fun to be able to share that. And I mean, I think the last couple of years we had somewhere around 50 or more applications for scholarships.
Yes. Yeah.
And so it's really something that's been well promoted and all of those things. So let's talk about awarding the scholarships and that lunch that we do and talk about that luncheon, because I think that again, one of the most fun lunches of the year is the scholarship lunch.
Our May LIBA lunch, basically, we've dedicated it to awarding the scholarships, inviting the counselors that they choose and their parents of the kids that have won the scholarship to come in, and it's well attended. We always have a speaker that speaks to a youth issue, maybe even something that's actually wants you to actually think about something other than what was happening for lunch. And we've had a great array of people that have actually been successful in the youth area to be our speakers. And I'm always amazed how I get thank you notes from the parents. I just this week sent out $8,000 scholarships. You could tell the first semester was over.
Yep.
They got their grades. We have them send in their sheet that they passed. And so that's when we award the scholarship. So I sent out 8 of them. Already got 2 thank you notes back. So it gives you the idea. These are good kids.
It's a lot of fun. And you're right. The speakers are always geared towards the students. It's the one time where, we found a speaker and we were like, okay, members, this isn't directed at you, but hopefully you can take away something from this message. This is all about the young people and the future. And I think
you've done a good job getting us some speakers that fit the occasion.
Yeah, I think it's been really awesome. So, and then, it's also fun because you have those few members like Sherry Tafoya over at Custom Blinds. She always sponsors a couple of scholarships, and Sherry's able to be there with you to present the certificate and do the photos and all those kind of things. And I think that's important when the members do that and step up. It's a big deal.
It shows what we're doing, and they're getting involved as well. And Sherry will tell you, it's been one of the most positive things that their company has done, and everyone's involved. So
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, she involves her company. We take the applications over there and they look through them and they pick theirs. And and the fun part about it is it's a blind review of the applications. So when you see the applications, you don't know the name, you don't know
What school,
their background.
Right.
You might know the school, but you don't know anything else about them. You don't know who the parents are, and it's just all about the kids. So now, Bruce, you talked about there's 10 scholarships, and you divide those scholarships up in 5 groups of 5. Talk about that.
Okay, up to 5 of those, we actually have an area where if they're LIBA members, and their kids apply, and obviously if they qualify and everything, up to 5 of those scholarships are given to LIBA's members, students. And so it actually is another incentive. We see it as being a LIBA member, but more importantly, we're just trying to spread this out among the entire county, not just Lincoln schools, but the entire county, and you get some tremendous at parochial as well. So, I mean, we're really trying to do the spectrum because LIBA membership itself obviously covers that entire spectrum as well.
Well, and it's fun. I think the businesses take as much pride when one of their employees, the maintenance worker who probably doesn't even know that the company's a member of LIBA just sees this and says, "Hey, Johnny, apply." And all of a sudden, Johnny gets a scholarship. That's a nice benefit for those members for their employees and the kids of their employees.
A great story. I was working with a CPA 2 weeks ago with the foundation, other members, and we were looking at our investment portfolio. And the young lady that's running the computer said, "I don't know if you noticed, but 12 years ago, I won a scholarship from you."
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and over the last couple of years, we've actually had students who worked at a LIBA member business who received scholarships. I remember a couple of years ago, there was one that worked for Charlie down at Chick-fil-A, down on South 27th. And then we've had a few, our show sponsor, I'll give another shout out to Nats Detasseling. We've had a couple of the students that have worked at Nats Detasseling have gotten the LIBA scholarship. So again, those members are seeing a great benefit for their employees, whether it's directly their employee or the son or daughter of those employees.
Well, we're trying to encourage, if you've got a child about to graduate, we're looking for applicants. They'll be going out to the counselors at every school, coming out probably sometime within the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then we're asking if they be back by April 12th. The committee meets the week following to make that decision, and then they will be awarded. And that May convention lunch will be when we award the scholarships to the parents and to the child.
So I had a fun thing happen to me the other day. I haven't told you about this yet, Bruce. So, I'm a huge volunteer for JA. I love junior achievement. So I went over and I do it over at Cathedral, which is Chloe's school. And I walk in and the principal goes, "Hey, I need to talk to you." I'm like, "Oh God." Anytime I get called to the principal's office, we got a problem, right? And she goes, "Tell me about this LIBA scholarship." And I'm like, "Huh?" And she goes, "Well, I was talking to my son's counselor at Pius, and they said something and they mentioned the LIBA Foundation scholarship." And the counselor says, "I don't have all the details right here." And she goes, "Oh, don't worry, I'll ask Bud." So she was asking me about it. So,
Well, and they'll
so
have them within
it's
2
nice
weeks.
that the counselors are out there helping promote this too. And I think that's something that's phenomenal. So let's shift gears a little bit related to the foundation, Bruce. What are some of the things that the foundation does to raise money to support these scholarships?
We do a couple things. One, we obviously Give to Lincoln Day has been rewarding to the foundation through the Lincoln Community Foundation. We have a golf tournament that's a major tournament. It's always the end of August, first Friday of September. And that's our main fundraiser, and it's more a party than a golf tournament. And
it raises great money.
It's been very successful. Again, that's another one that started 1986. Started that golf tournament for LIBA and for the foundation. And although it's an arm's length separation, in all fairness, LIBA is very supportive of the golf tournament, and it's our major fundraiser. The other is that we have members of LIBA that just simply give to the foundation as a way to support the scholarship program.
Excellent. And as we kind of wrap up our segment here, Bruce, there are things that you and the foundation do beyond the scholarships. You guys have done some really cool stuff. Talk about a couple of the things that you've supported here locally in the last few years, and why it's important for the foundation to support those kind of things.
First of all, the foundation is, and we're just one of many good foundations within Lincoln, because giving back is part of what we try to do. And so we actually open it up to requests that if there's a need. My favorite, of course, is the dogs that the policemen have. Is one of the big areas that we started doing, and we continue to do whatever help on those. The other things that we've done is Youth for Christ. We tried to give some money to help them put an addition for after school programs, but for the most part, literally the scholarships are the key to what we're doing, but we're always open to listen to other items.
There was one project, and it was when I first started, Bruce, so I'm a little fuzzy on the details, but there was an app that I think the schools were trying to get into all the hands of the students, right?
Let me talk about that.
Do I
real
have
quick.
that?
Yes.
Right.
What happened is prior to you, we had a different executive director that took his own life. And so my involvement there from the foundation standpoint is we wanted to see what we could do. At that time, there was a telephone 24-hour answering service that anyone, mostly students we were aiming toward, though, could call and get help if they were in a depressed situation that may cause something similar to that. And we were able to finance that entire situation. And it's still going on today over at Bryan Hospital.
That's awesome. And that's one of those things. It was a difficult situation that we had to deal with at LIBA. But the foundation stepped up and they wanted to make sure that they were support. And it was for kids. They wanted this thing in the hands of every high school kid in Lincoln. And the fact that that's been almost 5 years now since you guys made that investment, and that it's still going on today through Brian is a big deal. That's a great investment in our community and in our young people. And I give you my hats off to Bruce for all the things that he and the foundation do for young people in our community, through the scholarships, through supporting JA, through helping with this suicide prevention hotline and all those kind of things. You're investing in our future.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Tom Klein and Steve Bowen's name as well. They're as involved as I am.
They're very active in the foundation. So again, Bruce Bailey with the LIBA Foundation. If you have a high school senior who is graduating this year and they are going to go to a college or university, 2 or 4 years, doesn't matter, here in the state of Nebraska, make sure you ask your counselor about the opportunities for LIBA Foundation scholarships. If you're a LIBA member, make sure you share that information. It's going to come out on email. I know it. They're doing a great job of communicating with members. Get that application, get it out to your employees, and let's do everything we can to support those folks. And then finally, I'm going to give a plug that if your company wants to step up and give out a scholarship or two or 5 or 20 or whatever, I'm guessing Bruce would take it. It's $1,000 per scholarship. You can write the check to the foundation. It can say your company's name scholarship. You can be there to present it. But please continue to support the LIBA Foundation. Bruce, I appreciate all you do for LIBA and our community and the young people here and the LIBA Foundation. And we'll be back after this.
Thanks for the exposure.
You bet. We'll be back right after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you searching for a helping hand in life? Look no further. Integrated Behavioral Health Services is your answer. They're your compassionate, trusted partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with Integrated Behavioral Health Services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness. And now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company. And with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
So he can maybe run. So like speed option, those things. All you want to do. Speed. I can't see him. It's also. Oh, it's you. Oh, look what you did. Look what you did. Look at Bill. Down. Come on Just now. calm down. I don't say anything about semicolons or should there be a
Word
parentheses or
Too many commas over there.
Too many,
Come on.
run-on sentences. Don't talk about that. It's not my wheelhouse.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakovic, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Happy
New
Year's!
UStop is starting 2024 off on the right foot, and you can too.
For every gallon sold on Tuesdays in January, UStop will donate 2 cents of every gallon sold to the Lead Center for the Performing Arts.
The Lead Center has provided Lincoln with the best entertainment and educational opportunities for the youth in our community.
I just got done with my first singing class. You stop at You Stop.
Giving back is
You
as
stop
easy
at
as filling up
You
on
Stop.
Tuesdays.
You stop at You Stop.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Picture a hot summer day, sun blazing in the fields as far as the eye can see. Now imagine, you're a teenager making bank, all while enjoying the great outdoors. Welcome to Nats Detasseling Inc., where they're not afraid to sweat. This summer, join the Nats team for an unforgettable experience. Forge friendships, learn responsibility, and earn money. Visit notafraidtosweat.com now. Nats Detasseling, where hard work meets good times.
Back to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This segment sponsored by U-Stop and Whitehead Oil.
This segment is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative, helping student athletes excel within the NIL landscape. Learn how you can be involved at 1890nebraska.com. So, big news out of LIBA this week. We're going to lead with that in this segment. I want to congratulate Travis Filing. Travis has been named the new executive director of LIBA. He is taking over the reins. Congratulations to Travis. We look forward to his leadership. Travis and his wife, Shannon. Shannon is actually an alum of the LIBA Business Hour. So they've been very active as business owners in the community, been very involved, very active with LIBA. So I look forward to Travis's leadership for LIBA and where he's going to help guide the organization moving forward. We did talk earlier this week, and I said, hey, Trav, when you want to take over the LIBA Business Hour? And he says, I need to get my feet under him. So I'm going to help him out for at least here for a few more weeks to allow Travis to get his feet under him and kind of get everything figured out that's going on at LIBA. Wish Travis all the luck in the world. Look forward to all the exciting ideas he has for the future of LIBA. If you don't know Travis, make sure you stop by the office, say hi to him, give him a call, send him an email. Get involved, get to know Travis. If you don't know Travis and Shannon, take that opportunity to get to know them. They've been very active and very supportive of LIBA. So congratulations to Travis. And I guess this segment, we're going to lead off with the congratulations segment, Ben. So it was a big week here at the Ticket this past week. The first Omaha Supernovas game. I listened to DP on the play-by-play. So congratulations to the Ticket and DP and the whole crew for their production of the Supernovas radio broadcast. They'll be back at the CHI Center on February 3rd is their next game. So we'll be back. They'll be back here on the Ticket. I believe that game is a 6 p.m. game. So check them out here on the Ticket. They'll have the pregame show and also the live call for that. So really exciting opportunity for the Ticket and actually what it's done is it's evolved even the relationship with Allo. The show runs Allo 961 on the Ticket. That's statewide now. So anybody in the state can watch any one of the shows of the Ticket live on the stream. And so it's really exciting. It's got to be an exciting time. So Ben, I was in my car, actually old school, listening to DP on the call the other night. Are you guys doing that with video too with the broadcasters, or how are you?
I believe so, yeah.
So, yeah, you can check them out. But I thought the atmosphere at the Supernovas game, boy, it really even came through the radio. So that was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, DP said that it was just as good and maybe even better than a Husker volleyball game, which is really saying something.
Yeah. It was very exciting. I think it was over 11,000 fans. 11, that's amazing. Obviously Nebraska embraces volleyball as a state. So and a great product on the field. I was with a couple of folks the other day. I was up in Omaha for a meeting yesterday, and we were talking about. I was talking to some folks that were at the game, and they were like, the quality of the product on the court was unreal. Like, it was hard to score, which, get the ball down. So the product is great. And these are people that are used to watching elite volleyball, talking about that. So I thought that was pretty cool. So congratulations to them. That's a big deal for the ticket. Check out their schedule. Go to the Supernova schedule. Make sure you listen to it on the ticket. Again, the app, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, theticketfm.com, or if you want to go old school like I was the other night, listen to it on 93.7 on the old radio. That was a good time. So Husker Hoops. We got to talk a little bit of Husker Hoops real quick here, Ben, for a minute. And I think it's going to be an exciting game today. They've got a game coming up here in a couple hours on the road at Maryland. And I think if they can find a way, I think they're on the path to the NC2A tournament right now.
Yeah, they're definitely in the picture, but got to keep it up.
Got
to keep foot on the pedal.
Got to keep it up. Got to keep working. And I think if they can steal a couple of these road games and hold court at home, I think they're in a very good position. I mean, Nast went crazy the other night with Ohio State. What do you have, 8 or 9 threes or something like that?
6 threes. He was
6 for 8. 6 for 8. So, I mean, he scored 30 some points. So that was a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun with those home games to see kind of the atmosphere downtown, both before and after the game. So it's great to see the excitement that's creating and also what it's doing for the local businesses and all of that. So we got a couple of things coming up here with LIBA. I got to make sure I don't forget to throw those out on Thursday, February the 8th. BizNet is going to be hosted by Mosaic over at 5631 South 48th Street. On the 20th will be the LIBA luncheon at the Grand Manse from 11:30 to 1 o'clock, the Jasmine Room at the Grand Manse. And then on the 27th, Coffee and Contacts, hosted by Spectrum Reach over at 4645 Normal. Get out there, get those events on your calendar, check out the LIBA Facebook page, check out the website, liba.org, and learn more about those events and when they are going to be there. The last thing I want to talk about here as we kind of get ready to wrap up our segment today, Ben, is I just want to give a shout out. Bruce talked about it a little bit when he talked about the foundation and their support of Junior Achievement of Lincoln.
Yeah.
I am a huge advocate and volunteer and supporter of Junior Achievement of Lincoln, Nebraska. I think they're doing great things with young people and getting in the classroom. JA provides you all the curriculum. Literally, you show up and you share your experience with the young people, and it's a very rewarding experience. Check them out, Junior Achievement of Lincoln. Go on Facebook, check out their website, call their office, get involved. It's a great way to give back to the community. I want to thank Britt Fordham with State Distributing and Bruce Bailey with the LIBA Foundation for being on the show today. We appreciate it. Share the show with your friends. We'll be back here next Saturday on 93.7 The Ticket with the LIBA Business Hour.
Picture a hot summer day, sun blazing in the fields as far as the eye can see. Now imagine, you're a teenager making bank, all while enjoying the great outdoors. Welcome to Nat's Detasseling